I think this might be the very first time we've had a comedian come back to the show due to overwhelming demand. Please welcome Hisham Kelati, everybody. Yes, you're back. You're the first one.
My boss, Phil, great guy. And this guy is a total bro. This guy is one of the sweetest people in the world. About maybe 4 or 5 months ago, he closed a contract with the city of Toronto. So he got a huge bonus. And because he was such a bro, he split it with every single one of his employees in the office. They brought us into the conference room. The VP of sales, the head of HR, and Phil are there. And the VP of sales gives us a speech and tells us that we're all walking out of that office with a $400 check. And we all just started losing our minds. We're like, Phil. It was the closest I've ever been to a Nazi rally. It was insane. And like, I'm so pumped. I'm walking away with this cash. My best friend in the whole wide world, Phil, he did this for me. For a split second, I was in line. I forgot where I was, and the walls fell down. And in a moment of excitement, I screamed out in the top of my lungs, "Way to go, nigga!" And 50 white people just stopped clapping and just slowly turned to stare at me. And the head of HR, Susan, she stood up from her chair smiling because this is everything she's trained for as an HR manager. Like, her whole life has come to this moment. Someone just screamed a racial slur in the middle of an all-staff, and she pushes the VP of sales out of the way, and she goes just this beautiful speech about like Canadian values and multiculturalism and her Polish grandma. It's this beautiful speech, and she ends it with, and most importantly, Hisham, it is absolutely racist for you to say the N-word. And I'm like, Susan, why is it racist for me to say the N-word? And she was like, because you're Indian. You guys may not know this. Susan definitely did not, but I'm black. I am from Africa, black. I am free-range organic black, okay? And I have never felt more powerful in my life than in this moment. I'm like, actually, Susan, I'm black and I'm offended. And after a very quick 10-minute meeting with me, her, and the VP of sales, I now get every other Friday off. Guys, thank you so much. I've been Aisha. Let's bring it back to Eric.
And the best age, the most exciting age to raise kids is when they're 5. That's the best age for me because that's when they start losing their teeth and they're so adorable because they have no clue what's going on. I remember my son pulled out his first tooth all confused. He was just like, oh my God. And I feel like as a mother, I'm supposed to tell him what's going on, but forget that. I'm like, you're falling apart. He's like, no, your arms are next. Don't pick up your toys. So adorable when they're scared.
It's those small tweaks and changes instead of like, especially after having babies, I also have twins. Mm-hmm. So instead of like losing weight, I felt releasing weight. Instead of like, I need more energy, I was like, okay, I need to increase my energy. And those little tweaks, it felt totally different. So just like the whole approach, it was like a little jig in my jam. And I did that for myself. And then it was like every little bump and curve and something, I was like, you know what? There's someone who wishes they had stretch marks from having a child. There's someone who, you know, I earned it. There's 2 skulls here. I'm good with the twin skin. Like,
did you literally just say that's a jig in my jam?
That jig was in my jam, yes.
One of the coolest things.
Hashtag jig in my jam.
One of the coolest things any human being has ever said to me.
You know how much underwear I have? 8 pairs, okay? 1 for every day of the week and extra in case I shit my pants. That's it. That's all the underwear I need to get through life.
You have this fascinating sort of Forrest Gumpy kind of life where you've met all these fascinating people and all these stories and they just kind of fall out of you and we're all surprised. Now, is there anything that maybe you haven't shared so far that you want to share on a show seen by 12 people in a room that has a carpet that should desperately be replaced?
And zoom down to the carpet.
Do you have a mic drop moment that you're saving or that you want to share now with one of your friends, one of your coworkers that's standing here? I don't know.
I'm just thinking about a book. I'm going to write.
You're thinking about a book?
Yeah.
I like this idea.
Yeah,
I like this idea. Like a book that's already been written that you're thinking of?
No, it's a book that's being written now.
By you?
By me.
Just to be clear.
Yeah.
I like this. Yes, the audience is into this. I like this too.
Yeah.
That's good. We're talking nonfiction, fiction.
We're talking nonfiction, so it'll be about my life and about interviews and lessons learned through the years and family and friends and all of that, where I come from, Scarborough.
Scarborough.
So all of that. But
Without batting an eyelash, 12 are sold right now, right in this room. Without even, wait till we drop this bad boy on the internet. Good night, nurse. That's good. So we're talking 2021. What are we looking at? 2020?
Yeah.
That is so close.
It's close. I've got to get to work.
I'm excited. I didn't know where you were coming.
To do.
I didn't know you were coming here for a book plug. I didn't think you were coming here for a book
I didn't know
tour.
I was going to plug it.
I've heard a lot of talk about like white privilege recently. You know, like apparently it's so easy to be a white guy, and to be honest, I kind of feel like it's bullshit. It's not true, because I've tried my hardest. Cannot seem to figure it out, you know. Like maybe there's some subtle nuances I'm not picking up on. It's frustrating though, because being black is so easy, you know. It's so simple. I can boil it down to one step. Struggle. That's it. Really. You know, being black is the coolest thing about me. I know that hands down. Like, I think it distracts people from my lack of social skills. Like, I'm certain if it wasn't for my skin color, I'd be diagnosed with high-functioning autism.
How are you?
I'm doing so damn good.
Besides being screamingly successful, you're everywhere.
I know, and that's good. And I want you to be proud of me. Like, I feel like a surrogacy, like a, you know,
Buddy,
a
honestly,
weird ginger fatherly bond.
That's very kind of you to say. This is a true story. This is a true story. I shouldn't be saying this because I'm going to get in trouble. But I actually fought hard for you to get your own show because I was like, snag her, get your talents in her, give her a show, or somebody in the U.S. is going to snag her and give her own show, and she's going to be a huge sensation.
And what happened,
Guess
though?
what happened?
What
Boom.
happened, Canada?
What happened, Canada? She went Southside, and they gave her everything in the world. And now she's a sensation, son. Listen to this face. Unbelievable, right? That's a true story. How do we shut that down and get the chest puffing to just like cool it a bit?
I think as men, what we can do is kind of get together, and it's almost like, you know, when you go to the gym to physically work out, we can work out our empathy muscles together as men. We leave it to women to do a lot of the heavy lifting with us.
Yes.
Around our kind of like learning, and we can do that as guys and kind of work things out together and stop trying to prove or perform for each other. Like when guys are picking up someone, very hetero, we're talking here, right? But like in that world, it's more to impress the boys or something in their own head. They're not even sure why they're trying to approach someone, right? It's like
for those keeping score at home, we're up to 21 mhms. Ding.
I wanted to talk a little bit about politics. You know what I'm saying? Not really all the politics that everyone else is talking about, but more about the bills that were on the California election bill. Did you guys know about this? In California, they have like a gazillion things to vote on. Not just trumpity dump, romp, but also there was one that they had to vote on whether or not to make condoms mandatory in porn. Okay, that was an actual thing. That was a bill to be voted on election day. As I said, people didn't have enough on their minds, right? Now I have to think about what's on the dick. Am I right? But here's what I want to know. I don't understand what percentage of the population is sitting there going, condoms on sex that I'm watching? I don't think so. I want to see those STDs being transferred back and forth. And I thought about it, I'm like, are these people weird, sicko disgustos? Or are these people, is it just their fetish that they love relationship porn, right? Because if a healthy time to not wear condoms when you're in a long, monogamous relationship with the one you love, rip it and skip it, you know what I mean?
I watch so much porn, I care about porn stars. Like, I'll see a girl in a porno, you can tell it's filmed on a handy cam in a random guy's apartment. And then 6 months later, you see her on Brazzers, and she's doing it with a buff dude, it's all in HD. I'm like, look at her. She is totally making it.
Because hospitals are crowded. That's the issue, right? You know, and I guarantee you, if you go to the ER tonight, there's a few people who are genuinely sick and a bunch of people who are just stupid. That's how that is. I think we need a stupid hospital, right? Whole separate institution you go to if you injure yourself in a stupid way, right? And before you see a doctor get any care or anything, you got to go up front and speak into a megaphone what it was that you were doing with your stupid ass that requires you to be here at Moron Medical. Why are you here? Okay? And we need the sassy black receptionist. We're gonna need the sassy. It's not gonna work without her, right? You know, she'd be up front, be like, "Oh, you electrocuted yourself trying to steal cable? Get Netflix. You stupid, okay?" That sort of thing. Big Clif Knight. Thank you guys.